Welcome. You have entered the realm of 1111 Talk Radio. Your host is Simran. It's time to discover your own language with the universe. Empower yourself, broaden your mind, open your heart, and discover who you are. Now, here's your host, Simran.
Welcome and happy new moon. It is a day that we can now step into something new. And so often when we are on these spiritual journeys and we're living our lives and things have gotten busy, it's very easy to get caught up in primarily what the identity, the ego, the personality are after. And we can hanker for things, we can want things, we can constantly wish for certain things from that side of ourselves. 1111 is devoted to the journey of your soul, and what I really want individuals to start understanding is we're here to align also with our soul, to intertwine these two as finely as our DNA is, so that rather than being in servitude toward the ego, we allow the ego to be in service toward the soul. And when we think about the law of attraction and what we really want, that we begin thinking about it from the place of true fulfillment of what really fills our heart and our soul, what truly brings us happiness. But with life and the busyness of life, and sometimes with your own spiritual journeys where you have to weave and wind into the dark valleys and the shadows and then rise back up into the light, you can forget some of the very essential truths that allow for you to feed the soul and the ego. So today we're talking about creation. We're talking about your power, the law of attraction, and most importantly, how to remember. I happened upon a beautiful soul that is doing some incredible work in the world. And the title of her book was very powerful because I think we have a lot of people hoping rather than having. And she's going to talk today about concepts from her book titled From Hoping to Having, which she also has an affirmation booklet that has wonderful affirmations in, along with a card deck now that is affirmation cards and many other books. But I want you to know, and Julie Poole wants you to know, from her book Hoping to Having, this is a vibrational universe. It is a feeling universe. It converses through its feeling of vibrations. And so it is in the feeling of the thing that you desire that the universe will and can hear you and respond to you. Thoughts also have vibration. So we want to ensure that our thoughts also support vibrationally that which we want. When we vibrate at correctly aligned vibrational resonance that matches our goals, the universe will rearrange itself to mirror and match back to you in the pictures of your life, that which you desire. So visualize it, align with it, then feel it, and it will come. It has to. This is what Julie teaches in her books, through her work, through her readings and different seminars and webinars, and all of the different ways that she shares, even on YouTube through her tarot channel. So I invite you to meet Julie Poole, who is a spiritual and personal empowerment coach, law of attraction teacher, author, psychic intuitive, channeler, energy aligner, and Reiki master teacher. Welcome, Julie, to 1111 Talk Radio.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I love what you've written. I feel like I have just bathed in this beautiful space of, as you subtitle your book, the 3 R's, remember, reset, and receive. And there's some wonderful concepts in here that I think will help individuals move a step further in their knowledge of the law of attraction, because I saw some different concepts than what a lot of people espouse or follow. And I think that's really important. And you begin the book talking about laws and how law and freedom are polar opposites. And so I want to start right there, because when we think about universal laws, we think we're kind of bound by those. And yet, I think all of us, our souls, our egos, aspire towards freedom. So if these are polar opposites, how does that work for us?
Well, this is one of the things that I was challenging within some of the previous thinking, all of these laws of the universe. I remember reading a book about 25 years ago, shed a little light on the spiritual laws, and I think there were 37 of them. And we try to live our life by these laws, and some of them make absolute sense. The law of resonance, the law of, well, there's so many. When I was writing this book, which was channeled directly from higher beings of light, they corrected it. They said that is not right. There are only two laws: the law of free will and the law of attraction. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So if you want to change what you're getting, you need to change what you are. And by that, they are talking about changing your vibration. And as you said, everything in the universe and everything within us is vibration. So if we are vibrating on a low frequency of desperation and need and lack and fear, that's what we get more of. It is simply that which is. But the free will is absolute, it's non-negotiable, and it is definite. And as you say there, and I point out in my book, to say we have to adhere to these laws and then say, but God gave us free will, is a complete polar opposites. It just doesn't make any logical sense. So if we then step into that truth that we have absolute free will, that is a really difficult concept to get your head around unless you have a sense of empowerment, both personally and spiritually. So we have to start there by reconnecting, remembering the power that we have as a light, as a spark of consciousness, as a divine being, as pure love. We are love, we are light, and we are power. But we've forgotten. We've forgotten so much. So I spend the first third of my book helping us to remember who we are, and then to be able to step into the empowerment of who we are. You see, the soul is on the other side. Our soul is just easy. Everything just is easy. It's instant, it's automatic, it's a sense of peace and grace. And yet we come here, and within the human being, the human body that the soul resides, we're vibrating on this very different energy of struggle and hardship and challenge. And the soul knows it's free, but the human doesn't. So what we're trying to do here is pull the two together and say, remember who you are. You're God personified within this being that we call this human body. You have creative force in every atom, every cell of your being. But when you are trying to operate from that place within your humanness, it falls flat generally. But when you can operate within a combination of your being, your soul, your desires, your creativity, and love, then everything starts to move into ease and flow. And then that which you are vibrating at starts to move towards you. And you're vibrating on a remembrance of your power, remembrance of your love, and remembrance of ease. And the universe rearranges itself to then begin to make things easy for you. But the universe is not doing it for you. It is simply the law of attraction, that you are attracting to you that which you now are.
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And I love how you explained all of that. I have conducted my own deep dive through quite a few experiences that would probably be identified as Shadowland and challenge and constriction in some of those places that I got through by way of light, actually. It was through moving through so much of self-love and those kinds of things that all of what was unlike love started to rise up and show itself. As I went through this journey, I came to this conclusion or this question: is it destiny? Is it fate? Or is it free will? And the answer that I came to was yes, yes, and yes. So, how do free will and attraction apply to these things? Destiny, fate, and then free will. Is the free will us as human, or is it free will of the soul?
It's free will of the soul. However, the soul is residing within us, and we have a very strong will within our personalities. So we can often be working alongside our soul, and other times we can be working against our soul. But the free will is within the cellular structure, within the body, in the being, within the soul, and within the mind. And the mind and the thoughts are incredibly powerful. So we begin to kind of play about with this power when we are young, working out what we believe and what we don't believe. We feel the resonance of that in our body. When we believe something negative, we then feel bad. We start to figure out that our thoughts have this impact on our body. And those of us that work within the energy field know that that also has an impact within the cellular structure physically. And we start to manifest discomfort and illness within the body. So this free will, it infiltrates everything, but so does law of attraction. So we have the will that we want to have something or do something or desire something. And when it feels good, it lifts us into a higher vibration and we start to align with it and we start to feel good. And it's the universe doesn't really hear our thoughts. It's interesting because so much of the law of attraction teaching says it's all about your thoughts. It's all about your thoughts. And it is and it isn't. It starts with your thoughts, but your thoughts are a vibration, which then we feel within the body and the being. And it's that feeling that the universe will pick up on. That's the energy. So the thoughts go to the feelings go to the manifesting. So what do I think? And what do I feel about what I think? And then I move into the vibration of willing that into being. But if it's not in our soul path to will something, then we find that we hit brick wall after brick wall. So we may be experiencing a life where we have previously have lifetimes with loads of money and loads of power, and perhaps we didn't particularly master that very well. So we've come back and chosen, okay, this time I want to do it without having all that money and all that power. Can I still find my light and my power and my truth without those props? They're just props. So some people in this lifetime will be trying to manifest a lottery win and be a millionaire and not be able to achieve it and say the law of attraction doesn't work. But free will has overridden that desire on the human level because the soul says, that's not what I'm here for this time.
I want to go to something that I began the show with, and it is that sometimes we have this idea of what we want, like you just said, and yet it's not our path because it's the soul's path. But we live in such a distracted world, especially now more than ever, where even humanity in itself, for many people, is not there. They think love, they think their feelings. They don't actually feel their feelings. They're not actually in their body. And so they're going after things that perhaps are those material things that most people are looking for or term as success, and coming up against those blocks. Is that their body, their subconscious, that is really attracting what they're getting? How do they reconcile that?
Very good question. It is, I'm just feeling into that question so I can get the appropriate answer. To reconcile between that which the soul wants and that which the human wants can be a clash. And in there is the greatest opportunities for aligning with the soul, because when the human keeps hitting a brick wall, why isn't this happening? What am I doing wrong? Why isn't it coming? Eventually, for many, they will get to the point of coming into the soul and saying, what do I really feel about this? What might be blocking it? What might be in the way? Is this my path? Is this idea of success that I have actually what is success for me this time? So many people will think they want a particular thing, but they have no concept of how to manage it, live with it, align with it, work with it, but they still want it. And that's all right. It's fine. Want whatever you want, but ask your soul, do you want this too? And let's work together on this. What the soul definitely does want is an energy of ease. It wants ease. It wants to have and experience some challenges and struggles in order to grow, but not all of the time. Like life, we have these waves of ups and downs, and we hope that they're not too up and too down, but those teach us something. What the soul wants is for your life, for your being. What God wants for your life and your soul and your being is expansion, an expansion in love. And if money and wealth and success will help you to do that, then you can align with it and step into it. If it's going to get in the way, then it can be held back until you can align with that. It's a complicated answer because the shadow side of the ego will say, I'm in charge and I want this. And like a 5-year-old stamping its feet will insist that it has it. But you wouldn't necessarily give everything to a 5-year-old that they're asking for. They may not be able to manage it. They may not be responsible enough, wise enough. They may not be having enough freedoms to be able to work with that. So you would say, maybe when you're older, maybe when you're wiser, we'll see. And it's the same sort of thing that the soul does. It says, we're not quite ready for that yet. How about we work on some other things first? And so you kind of circumnavigate to where you want to achieve and attain that thing. And what I talk about in my book is the blocks that can get in the way. So you've thought the thought, you felt the feeling of it, you visualize it, you then look at what is blocking me from this. And one of those questions can be, am I ready for it? Is there something I need to put in place first? And then you allow yourself to be redirected by your instincts, your intuition, your soul energy, saying, how about we shore this up a little bit first before that comes in? And so it's trusting. This is where the free will comes in. Can I trust that every part of me wants this, but I don't quite seem to be aligning with it? And what can I do to align myself with that which I desire? So we examine the blocks, we examine thinking and beliefs and behaviors and patterns, and we neutralize them. And then we come back at it again and say, okay, now can I align with it? Now am I ready to receive this? And this is the question that we want you to ask yourself, not just I want this or that, but am I ready to receive this within my heart, within my being? Am I ready to hold the responsibility of it? And how does that feel? And if that feels scary, hairy, panicky, then you're not ready. And it's to listen to those feelings and say, okay, I need to do a little bit more aligning. I need to do a little bit more soul searching. I need to examine some of my patterns. But I also need to question and ask myself, why do I need this? There are so many people extraordinarily happy with very little. So why is this so prevalent across America and Europe and many other places, this need for more? And I teach the desire for more. It's all right to have more, to want more, to desire more. That's expansion and growth. But it's asking, why? Do I desire this in order to feel good enough? Why don't I feel good enough already? Do I desire this in order to feel happy? Why aren't I happy now? What we want to do, the law of attraction expands what is. So if we're looking for something to make us happy and we're not happy now, we cannot align with it. We've got to align with getting happy now in order to step into the energy of something that we think is going to make us happier. And you talk to a lot of very wealthy people, many of them will say, I'm not particularly happy. The pressure, the responsibility, the fear of losing it, all of that. And yet when we don't have money, we think that it'll make us happy if we do, because we see the obvious things like I won't have to worry. It gives me more freedom. And I like the idea of that very, very much. And that makes absolute sense. But it's to go a little bit deeper and say, why am I constantly desiring more? Now, we expand, we grow, but some people are really happy with what they've got. But is it because they've given up and they just don't want to have any hope in order for the hope to be dashed? Or is it that they're genuinely happy with what they have? When we get into a space of absolute gratitude and happiness for what we have, it generally wants to grow. And some people then choose not to allow it to grow. I like it where I am. I don't want anything to change. And that's all right too.
When we talk about being in this place of wanting more, or an individual, and you spoke about the Western world, there's another place where there's a split, and it's the use of I am. You begin the book From Hoping to Having, talking about our creative force and moving us into that remembrance. But I can see a lot of places, in having been in this industry for a long time, where individuals think if I just fake it till I make it and keep saying these I am statements, I'll make something happen. There seems to be a distinction between just saying the statements and convincing ourselves it's going to happen because we say the statements, to actually saying the I am statement in a different way, a more embodied way. Can you talk about the distinction there and how to move from just verbalizing to really meaning? And is that what you mean by from hoping to having?
Yes. Yeah. We say I am all the time. It's linked with our identity. I am happy, I am sad, I'm a failure, I'm a success. We say it all the time without any real meaning, other than on a personal level. The I am presence is the God force. Now, use whatever word for God you're comfortable with, and a lot of people are not comfortable with the word God, and that's all right. Source, the universe, creator, whatever words you want to use, consciousness, but allow that concept that the I am presence is the divinity within you. So visualize if you had a microscope and you could look into your cells, the cellular structure in your body. Each cell has a creative force within it. Cells die, as we know, die in the body. Millions of cells die every day. New cells are born. You cut yourself, you bleed. There's a hole in your skin. Your skin jumps into creative force and makes new skin and fills in the hole relatively quickly, depending on how deep the cut is. But the first concept of the I am is to grasp that. I am a creative force within my cellular structure, within this human form, this vehicle that the soul uses to move through life. So if it's within the physical body, and we know it's within the soul, well, the soul came from divinity and is part of divinity, and we put those two things together, we've now got the body, which is a creative force. We've got the soul, which is a creative force. We have what we call the higher self, which is a combination of all of your many lifetimes, past, present, and future, with all of that knowledge. And that too is a creative force. But the I am is all of that and more. It is the origin. Where did that creative force come from? Where is the origin of it? It is the divinity. So I am divine. I'm not God, but I have a power within me that is the God force. And that is what we call the I am presence. So if you imagine within the body, You've got your humanness trying to be in control, and you have the I am who sits back quietly, letting the human do what it wants to do because of free will. So when we allow, and allow is the word, the I am presence to come forward and the humanness, the ego, to step back, we are surrendering our human control over to the divinity within us. And the divinity is the light and the love and the power, the truth, the way, and the life. When we allow ourselves to be led by the I am, we are truly within our divinity. That is the I am. So when we say very casually, I am going to the shops, or I am tired, we're not necessarily activating the I am. People get worried about having to watch their words of saying I am anything because they believe it will create that. I'm sick. Well, now you're going to get sick. You just invited it. No. There is a kind of time lapse. You have to feel it, as you rightly said. You activate the I am presence and you feel the divinity within you. You feel the light. You step into the love. You surrender your ego, and you are in this oneness with all that is magnificent. Now, from that place, you're in the creative force. Now, watch your words and be careful what you say after I am, for that is what you create. So to say, I am love, I am loving, I am light, I am so powerful, I am so happy, I am so grateful, I am so divine. Then you are in your divinity. Now, step into your creative force of that which you want to create, and that will start to manifest.
It is your divine right to know joy and to know ease. Allow yourself to know who you are. You are God, Goddess, all that is personified. You are powerful inside and out. You have spiritual power, universal power, personal power, soul power. You are power. Feel it, be it, know it, express it, use it, step into it, now. It is time. It is a 3-step process. As Julie has expressed, the 3 steps: identify the goal, visualize the goal, feel the feelings that the goal will bring to you, and feel them now. These are the 3 steps, along with so much other beautiful information in her book, From Hoping to Having, the 3 R's to create your best life. Remember, reset, receive. The Ultimate Law of Attraction Guidebook. And she has an accompanying affirmation booklet that allows you to have affirmations for all different areas of life in which you'd like to create greater attraction. Julie Poole has been a Law of Attraction coach, hypnotherapist, and spiritual teacher. For more than 2 decades, she has helped thousands to find their truth and power, confidence and joy, to balance their lives, attract abundance, love, and health, to find that great job, start that business, and much more. You can find out more about her and all of her work if you go to juliepooleonline.com. That link is in the bio description, and it's Julie Poole, Poole, online.com. The books are From Hoping to Having, as well as other books that she has written, a series titled Angel on My Shoulders, Angel in My Heart, Angel in My Fingers. We'll be right back after these messages with more of Julie Poole.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Do you want more? More joy, more abundance, more power and presence? How would it feel to have more loving relationships, more empowered community, greater fulfillment, and life purpose? The 1111 Mastermind community inspires, empowers, guides, and supports transformation. Shift your mind, expand your heart, deepen insights, let go and chart a new course, dream a new dream. The 1111 Mastermind community is an online portal for personal transformation and soulful expansion. Go to courses.1111mag.com. That's courses.1111mag.com. Change begins with you. Let it be simple, convenient, and transformative. The time is now. Step through the 1111 Gateway. Courses.1111mag.com.
Have you seen 1111? Do you wonder why certain numbers keep showing up in your life? 11, 111, 22, 33, 444? People all over the world are seeing 1111 and learning the language of universal communication. Subscribe to 1111 Magazine today. www.1111mag.com. 1111 Magazine is a bi-monthly print publication that offers a rich, multi-sensory experience. As you engage with experts and topics of consciousness, become enlightened, empowered, and energized, so you live a passionate and authentic life of conscious choices. 1111 Magazine, a daily staple for lifting the mindset, discovering the heart, and stepping into conscious living. 1111 Magazine. Order now at www.1111mag.com. 1111mag.com.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are listening to 1111 Talk Radio. Simran is an award-winning author, publisher of 1111 Magazine, powerful speaker of wisdom, and a life mentor. Find out more at IamSimran.com. Now, back to 1111 Talk Radio.
Before we get back to Julie, I want to mention that if you'd like to do a deep dive into the cross-section of yourself, to definitely get my Oracle Trilogy. The first book is Living, the 7 Blessings of Human Experience, and it will take you through the different cycles that we live repeatedly through the face of our personality. The second book is Being, the 7 Illusions that Derail Personal Power, Purpose, and Peace. And this guides you into intimately embracing your shadow, your animal, and even the monster that can appear inside at times. And then the third book is Knowing, the 7 Illusions of Human Grace. And these are the graces you must give yourself as you reclaim your humanity to open that doorway of divinity. These are not books to be read cover to cover. They are meant to be oracles for you to open and allow the guidance to come forth for that particular day. And if you really want to hear what each part of you is speaking each day, then open each book, because they're always present. You're just not present to them. My guest today is Julie Poole, and we are talking about her book, From Hoping to Having, the 3 R's to create your best life. Remember, Reset, Receive, the Ultimate Law of Attraction Guidebook, and affirmation book. And you can also get her affirmation cards. Julie says you are here on this exciting journey to your best life, choosing wisely which vibrations you expose yourself to, either positive or negative, is an important part of aligning with that which you want to create in your world, and is a good way to begin. I definitely urge you to look her up at juliepooleonline.com and find out about the different things that she's doing, her classes, her other books that she has, Angel on My Shoulders, Angel in My Heart, and Angel in My Fingers, and everything else that she does, from energy alignment to channeling to being a psychic intuitive and a tarot channel reader on YouTube. So definitely look her up. I want to go back to that conversation about the I am, and you had mentioned the body's role in attraction as well. As we look at these different parts of soul, body, and the I am presence, it seems that there's a very important step, and that has everything to do with our relationship to self, to really getting to know self. And during the break, you mentioned that the first section of the book, the Remember section, was really channeled through your guides and brought forth tremendous information about that God presence that lives and resides and sees and speaks and moves through us. And then you move into Reset in the book, which really has a lot to do with developing that relationship to self, or how to remove the barriers to love or to presence that we've had Talk a little bit about the importance of relationships to self and how to begin that process.
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial that, we need to understand ourselves in order to really step into our greater self, because our greater self, as we've already discussed, is love, pure love. But if you don't really know yourself or understand yourself or your drives or your passions or your fears, how can you truly step into your greater self? Because you don't know your greater self. So remembering your power is part one. And then stepping into not remembering yourself, but getting to know yourself. And it's called reset because we have so many different belief systems, which are energy fields around ourself, our identities, our relationships, and those thoughts and beliefs can be empowering or disempowering. And most of the time, we don't really look at them. We're too busy getting on with our lives to examine ourselves carefully. We only tend to do that when things are going usually pretty wrong. We didn't get the job we wanted. We didn't get the promotion. The marriage fell apart. The problems of life. And then we come within and say, why? We usually start with the victim mentality of why me? And then we move to the why not me? And we start to understand where our drives, what they're about. My mum this, my dad that, this is what I saw, this is what I witnessed, this is how I experienced life. And those experiences form us. So I'm a registered hypnotherapist, have been for nearly 25 years. I also went to university and studied psychology, and I put those together with my spiritual insight and understanding. And I'm able to really, truly understand the impact of the subconscious, which is your deeper belief systems. Now, the subconscious is our thoughts and our beliefs, which have a vibration. And those beliefs feed into the physical body. Just feel what happens to you when you're afraid. The thoughts in your mind are, oh God, I'm in trouble here, if you're in danger. But you'll feel it in your body. Adrenaline, cortisol, shakes, tremors, all of those, the body and the mind are connected, and the body and the emotions are connected. As a hypnotherapist, I would say we have 5 different energetic bodies: the mind, the emotions, the physical body, the spiritual soul energy, and the energetic field, what you might call your aura, your electromagnetic field. You will feel the vibrations through every part of you. And we tend to focus on one part. I feel sick in my stomach and I feel all shaky and horrible. But that feeling, that emotion in your stomach has come from a thought in your head. So where did that thought come from? So we work by going into the subconscious to look at the underlying beliefs. And I show you in the book how to neutralize them. And I also do a lot of free stuff on my YouTube channel and on my website. There's a lot of free resources there as well. But it's looking at things like, let's say you identify a goal of, I want a promotion, I deserve a promotion. Then great, why isn't the promotion showing up? We go into the subconscious and we say, do I really believe I deserve it? And I might feel, yes, I do. Okay. Are there any other beliefs are under there about this promotion? Will I manage it? Will I fail? Will I be humiliated? Look at all of that. Where has that come from? We neutralize those and we align with, I am ready and I am confident and I now vibrate on that level, and then we're ready to move into it. But these underlying beliefs go very deep, and they are there to show us that there's something blocking that thing which we desire. So if money isn't showing up, is it the soul and free will, or is it a belief that you have about money? I created a program called Unlock Your Block to Wealth, which is for sale on my website. But I did a huge amount of free YouTube stuff, which is still available on my YouTube channel, called the same thing, Unlock Your Block to Money, Money Magic, showing people the hundreds of beliefs that are negative that we have about money. Like money makes you bad, money's dirty, money makes you greedy, you won't know who your friends are. We start looking at our relationship with money then. How do I feel about money? Do I like it? Do I think it's dirty or bad? If I do, I'm not going to want it. I'm going to block it. I'm going to push it away. And I show you how to neutralize these. I also talk in the book about we can align with having it, but not necessarily keeping it. And that comes to do with security. So how secure am I in my person? So yes, through this reset, you're getting to know you. You're getting to know your wibbles and wobbles, your false beliefs, your outdated beliefs, and some of those used to be true and are no longer true. Some of them might still be feeling true, and we have to work to disarm them until they no longer feels true. Because you cannot move into an energy that doesn't feel true for you. You will reject it, because our soul is truth and light. So if we're trying to convince ourselves black is white, and the soul knows it's not true, we don't move into it. We have to find a way to believe that it's true, to feel that it's true, and to resonate on that truth. So when I'm working with somebody one-to-one, I can feel into their energy, and I make various statements, and I can feel whether there's an acceptance of that statement or a rejection of that statement. And if it's a rejection, we go into the subconscious and find out why. And then we change it. So the book is showing you how to do all of that. And all the way along, you're getting to know yourself more and more. You get lots of aha moments. Well, I did not know where that came from. And it can be something that just seems so silly. And so, why on earth would I believe that? And it can be a belief that you had when you were 4 or 5 or 6. Doesn't have to make sense as an adult, but it made sense when you were a child. But does it mean that we have to hold that belief now in adulthood, or can we neutralize it? So that reset is a reprogramming. Most of us have been born into lives where we are put into boxes and restrictions and limitations, told what we can be and do and have, and don't be silly and be realistic, and who do you think you are, Rockefeller? And all of these kind of beliefs hold us limited. But the soul knows it's unlimited. So we work to reset those thoughts and beliefs, and therefore resetting the energy into ease and into flow and into comfort, which is what the soul is.
We're at a time where more and more we keep hearing the words oneness and unity spoken about in the world. It's very clear to me, especially someone whose core wound has always been codependence, that it's important to move into independence, that we must be able to be independent beings for that unity and that interdependence to happen. You have a powerful section on responsibilities within your book, and you talk a lot about getting really clear on what you're responsible for and what's not, and particularly talk about the responsibility to parents or the responsibilities to children and caring for them. And I found that to be extremely powerful at a time where so much of our world is very codependent. Could you briefly talk a little bit about those types of responsibilities and how to let go?
Yeah, it was one of the more challenging chapters to write, because I myself have elderly parents who are becoming more frail, and they are really wanting to rely on me and depend on me and allow me to be their carer. And the answer is no. I have my own life. I have my own things going on, and I am responsible for me, and you are responsible for you. You're an adult. To put that on an adult child is not what the soul would want. Some souls sign up for it. They sign up for a lifetime of care, and it feels right to them. And that's how you know. Does it feel good? Does it feel right? If people are asking from me, for me, to do XYZ, when the soul is on a mission to achieve that, it will feel so good, so right, so automatic, no question, and you want to do it. And that's great. That's wonderful. But I want you to question it. Is it automatic and feeling right because I've never given myself any other option? I've never even considered the possibility that I don't have to take care of my elderly parents, or I don't have to bail out my adult child when they're in trouble. Has it even occurred to you that your own life is as valid as theirs? Or are you putting yourself on the sacrificial lamb altar to give up your own life for other people? And does it feel truly good? When we're giving from the heart, from the soul, from light, it lifts us, it empowers us. We feel so good. Psychology has evidence through multiple studies that we have longer term happiness from helping others than we do from helping ourselves. So we know that we love to help other people. But spiritually and energetically, there should be a caveat in there that says, not at my detriment. Not at my detriment. Not if it harms me, hurts me, limits me, ruins me. Not at my detriment. That isn't giving, supporting, being of service. That is being sacrificial. And that is not what we are here to be or do. So this whole chapter, and it merged into another chapter on commitments, responsibilities, boundaries. Those 3 chapters were challenging to write. And I was continually questioning my spiritual team. Are you sure? Is that all right? They're, yep, this is what we're saying. This is what we want you to do. And I just followed it. Okay, we will write it down. But it was very
resonant. I got similar messages as I wrote my Oracle books. And I believe this is a very powerful teaching, a spiritual teaching that is extremely necessary for this time for so many. And it is one that requires discernment and a real deep look inside oneself. So I appreciate you putting that in your work. You also talk about help, inner and outer help. And so you're talking about personal power and us stepping into more of our own inner authority and what we can do. Yet you said sometimes people can call for the outer power, though there's not really a God outside of us. Could you talk a little bit about that area so that it's a little bit more understandable that this divine resides within, as well as there is this ability to request external help from the unseen as well?
Yeah, sure. God is within. It is also without. The universe is within and it is without. Many people, Buddhists, Zen, many of Tao, many different beliefs say there's nothing outside of you. And that's all right. If your entire universe and source lives and resides within you, then that's great. Tap into it, use it, utilize it, work with it. Wonderful. We've been taught in the Western world with Christianity and also with Judaism and with just about so many other religions that God is outside of you, not in you, that you should be the humble, humble me and just wait for God to give you everything. The law of attraction and spirituality is about taking responsibility for your own energy, your own choices, your own decisions, and your own God force. But that does not mean to say that there isn't a big outside force of source and angelic realms and higher beings of light that are available to us at this time to guide and help us. And if we choose to step into that help, it can help us grow quicker, easier, smoother. It can be disempowering if we become overly reliant upon it. It's the same in any relationship. A healthy marriage will be two individuals who have their own individuality, needs, wants, but they also have a coming together. If they become too reliant on each other, it creates dependency, codependency, and one can't survive without the other, can't make a decision without the other, can't think without the other. This is when we look at it and say, that's very unhealthy. You've disempowered yourself. And we can, within spirituality, do the same. Become overly reliant on talking to our guides, using tarot, using divinity, going for readings. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. That's disempowering. When we're using it to enhance our own inner knowing and intuition, enhance our own feelings and guidance, to help understand why we feel something, then it's incredibly empowering. So really, again, it's back to the statement you made earlier. It's about discernment, when to reach outside and when to reach inside, and when to balance them both. Because as you said, we are one. We are all one. And what is oneness? It is taking those 5 energetic bodies that I described a little earlier and merging them into the one whole. When I understand my emotions, my thoughts, my energy, my soul, I understand and love them all. I empower them all into a oneness. When I bring in outside of myself that help which is available to me, should I choose to access it from my guides and angels and higher realms and source, then I am in a greater oneness. But we are all one, and we are all sharing this experience from different lenses, from different places, from different perspectives, but we are all one on the same path home. How we get there is up to the individual.
We're coming towards the end of the show, and I want to mention one of my favorite lines from your book, and it is, "Wealth is not money. It is the energy of easy contentment." I think that might surprise a lot of people. And it's such a fantastic way to describe wealth. What is easy contentment?
Well, it's to say what is the opposite? You know, it's the worry, it's the fret, it's the stress, it's the sacrifice, it's the anxiety, it's the sleepless nights. Take all of that away, and what is underneath? There is an ease. There is a contentment. Why are 90% of people wanting better jobs and better money? To get to that place of ease and contentment. If you actually took away the issues of lack of wealth, most people would be content with who they are, and what they have. So if we can then remove wealth and say the priority is to get to ease and get to contentment, which is what the soul already is. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We don't have to create this out of nothing and out of nowhere. We simply need to align with the soul and say, show me how to live my life in ease. Show me how to be content. Show me how to be.
Let your determination, your will, and your power be your driving force, your internal engine, an engine that powers your light and your faith that you can do, be, and achieve all that you want. A power that will move you and your life from the hoping to the having. Let your power be the driving force that moves you to reset your thinking, your limits, your beliefs, your patterns, and your behaviors. Let your power move you into the receiving and aligning of you with your greatest life, a life that is waiting for you right here, right now. This is from Julie Poole's book, From Hoping to Having. I invite you to get your copy and move through the sections of Remember, Reset, and Receive, and discover truly how the law of attraction works, how you can empower yourself, and how you can move into the powers of kindness, gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and flow. Find out more about Julie at juliepooleonline.com. The book again is From Hoping to Having, along with her affirmation book and affirmation cards. Check out all of her other courses, her pre-recorded readings, live healing sessions, as well as the various meditations spiritual how-to videos and audios, and her courses on tarot for creating a great life. Again, that's JuliePooleOnline.com. Thank you, Julie, for being on 1111 Talk Radio. Until next week, I am Simran, in love, of love, with love, and as love. Be well.
Thank you for opening your mind to a new reality, your heart to greater compassion, and your experience of aliveness with 1111 Talk Radio. Join host Simran next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time to step through the gateway of conscious living here on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Remember, you are not on the journey. You are the journey.